Hey guys, it's Ryan again with Smoke and Mirrors, and we're going to be going back into the drip box. I got a very nice comment by nmanda515 listing some things that they wish would have been put into the video or talked about by other reviewers. These are some safety aspects and things that I also felt you should know, so I wanted to go back in and do a review of the Kanger Drip Box. So let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to actually start with the battery. This is one thing I should have mentioned in the video that was kind of left out. So as I said, the top of the battery always goes in. That's not the issue that we've been told about people having. It's actually with this bottom pin here. Let's see if I can get it in frame. There's this little slider here, right, and it spins. That will move this pin on the inside of the battery up and down. As you can see, I'm unscrewing it, screwing it back out. That's for placing your battery in the device and pretty much getting rid of battery rattle. Battery rattle is when your battery is sitting down in the device and you can shake it and you can hear it kind of move and rattle around inside the device. What this does is when you put it in the device and you screw this down, you should hear a little bit of battery rattle in it. What this on the bottom does, that little spinner, is you tighten it down, and you don't tighten it super tight. You just tighten it down until you feel it catch on both pins so it can make connection, and that will give you perfect connection for the device. Now you don't want to over tighten this, you just want to get it to where you can feel it kind of really secure that battery in there, and that will keep from any device rattle you have. And over tightening it is just not something you want to do. It's unsafe for the batteries and it's not good for the actual device and the pins. So yeah. Alright, another thing that was mentioned is airflow. So I'm going to get this top cap off. I'm going to show you a bit about the top cap now. It's a little more in depth. So these two holes on the top here, that's your airflow. That's the airflow the device is giving you. Now this actually sits well down on the device, so your airflow should be about at the height of your coils. It's generally about where you want them. Now when you put this cap back on, you want to line those two air holes up with your coil, with the actual coil that's in the device. So you just want to sit it on there, and as you can see, it's lined up with going across my coils just like that. Now on this cap, it has two cutouts, one for each side. This is for variable airflow on the RDA itself. I like to leave it all the way open, but when you spin it, it'll actually close off. You won't be able to see it. But as you can see, it's just coming out of the top, and then you should see it a little bit out of the sides. But that is for opening and closing your airflow off. Now, the more airflow you have in this device, in my opinion, the smoother the vape you get, but you can't have too much airflow. So when I was talking about rewicking or rebuilding your own coils, if you have a lot of cotton in there and it's blocking off that airflow, it will actually disrupt how the vape hits. And like I said in the other video, you really want to have space underneath your coils so that you can have air wrap all the way around. You don't just want it hitting over the top or hitting under the bottom and getting stuck. You want it actually going up and under and around your coils, which is why that airflow lines up like it does. So while this device itself does not hit terribly hard, putting higher milligrams of nicotine in this is not the safe thing to do. With devices like this that hit harder than your pen batteries or your Nautilus style tanks, which are the smaller tanks that can't take as high VG levels, you want to put in you would want to move your nicotine level down versus the vape that you're getting, which will hold more nicotine in it. It'll actually be more harsh than what you already have. So in this device, I don't actually recommend really going over 6. You can, but just know that it will be a little more harsh than some of those smaller tanks put out. But if you are going to be using those higher levels of nicotine, you need to make sure you keep this airflow open. If you try to hit a higher level of nicotine with no airflow on it, it will end up just burning it'll hurt. You'll end up burning through your throat, or you'll feel it and it will not feel good. So you want to make sure to keep that airflow at least a little bit open, if not all the way. I prefer all the way. I think it's the best way to do it. The last note I really want to touch on, so I want to touch on rewicking. So when you rewick, you want to take this actual cotton that's in here out, and the device will come with extra cotton in it. In my opinion, it's not the best. I would say go out and get yourself some cotton bacon or some native wicks or something that will hold your juice and your flavor a little bit better. But what you want to do is and I'll show you here, all you want to do is you just want to take up your cotton on the side like that, just start pulling it out. Right, and then you'll have a bare coil, and you want to do that on both sides. You want to keep your wicking even for both sides. What you want to do now that you have your cotton out, is you want to actually dry fire this, just like that, and you'll see the actual coils heat up. Now you might see a small fire, that's just extra wicking burning off and whatnot, but this will dry out the actual coil so you can put more cotton in. Get a little bit better view of it. See if I can focus a little bit. There we go. So you can see them heat up. Now you see how that one on the far side heats up a little faster than the one on this side? You can really see the difference in it. You do not want that. So give me a second, I'll show you how to fix that. So I've gotten myself some tweezers with a ceramic head. Right. I prefer to use the ceramic headed tweezers because you can actually you can work with the coil while you're heating it up. If you're using a standard tweezer or a metal headed tweezer, you do not want to actually touch the coil with the tweezers or the pliers or whatever you're using. If they're metal headed, you don't want to touch them while you're heating it up. Let's go back to this. So you can see that one is heating up a little bit faster. All you're going to do is you're going to give them a little squeeze on each side. Now I'm moving these coils a little bit too close together. Alright, so you really want to get these two coils here. You want to see them really heat up evenly, just like I got. Alright, so that's what you're looking for when you're seeing these coils heat up without the cotton in them. And whenever you change your cotton, you want to make sure they're heating up correctly. So now, I'm going to take some cotton bacon, which is definitely our shop's preference. All you're going to do is you don't need a ton of cotton, and you don't want to overwhelm this coil with cotton. You just want to get enough where you can see that it's hitting all of the coil. And all I do is I spin this end right there, just to get it thread through a little easier, like you're threading through a needle. And you're just going to pull it. And you don't want this cotton so tight in there. You don't want to have this cotton so tight that it's actually moving the coil, especially since these are spaced coils, which means there's, space in between each strand of wire in the coil. But you just want to get enough, I say a little past this edge here, a little past the edge of the RDA, and you're just going to cut it right there like that. Do that for both. Now you got one side. Now we're going to do the other, same way. Now you want to take a little poker, and what I do is I spread each of these sides out just so the cotton feeds into it a little more, and you just push it down inside of the actual RDA, right into those little juice wells. Now I'm just creating that bit of space underneath the coil that we talked about, so you have some airflow. We're going to do the same to this side. And that's the rewicking. It'll look a little cleaner after you actually get juice into it, so you can just use the squonk at this point and alright, once you see that your device and your cotton has been fully soaked through, you can just press and fire it. And you can see it go. Feed more juice back into it. And you sit back up and ready to vape. Alright, last couple notes on this. When you're building on it, only use kanthal or stainless steel wire. Never use your nickel or titanium wires to wrap for this. This is not a device that handles temperature control, and those are what those are really made for. But besides that, this has been my recap of the Drip Box by Kanger. If there's any more questions, like always, please leave a comment. Things like this happen where we don't always go over everything, or some other things need to be touched up on. And we see those, and we will revamp on them and rework them to go back and look at these devices and give you everything you need. Thank you again to Manda515 for leaving your awesome 3.5-page essay of notes and stuff you wanted covered and that should have been covered originally. And to everyone else, I hope this helped. Like, comment, subscribe. If there's any other devices out there that you want to see or anything else that you want us to either rework or redo, let us know. Me and Graham will actually be having a couple trick videos up soon. Hopefully one should be posted at least by the time this goes up. Check out the rest of our channel, and have a great rest of your day. Vape on.